Hello, everybody. My name is Sean Morrissey. I am an application engineer with AOPDS, and this is the first video in a series where I'll be showing you how to use HFSS and some tips and tricks. For these videos, we will be using HFSS, which is High Frequency Structure Simulator, and it is a multi-purpose full-wave 3D electromagnetic simulation software for designing and simulating high-frequency electronic products, such as any microwave and radio frequency components, connectors, ICs, and especially PCBs. HFSS is ideal for environment, but it is not just limited to aerospace. HFSS can be used to design high-frequency, high-speed electronics found in all sorts of communication systems, as well as radar, satellites, and IoT products, just to name a few. For this first video, we're going to get started with looking at the AEDT or Ansys Electronics desktop user interface and how to get familiarized with it. So you can see here, all I've done is opened up my Ansys Electronics desktop. And from here, this is going to be your control panel to access any of the Ansys Electronics applications. So when it first opens up, you can see that the desktop ribbon is selected, and you can open up any kind of application you desire within the electronics suite. We are going to be focused on HFSS. However, you can open up a Q3D, circuits, emit, IcePack, Maxwell, whatever your license allows you to have. So we're going to get started. I'm going to start a new project, click on new, and we're going to go to insert HFSS. So as you can see, we're going to divide this up. We have our menu toolbar, our ribbons toolbar, project manager, properties, message manager, progress, and geometry window. So here you can see that this is just a blank file. You can do whatever you want. You can import a pre-existing file or even one of the Ansys templates that they give you, depending on which application you're using. So to get started, let's start with the menu bar. You have your standard file, edit, and then we also have view, project. This is the exact same as what you saw in the desktop ribbon. They do the same exact thing, whichever you prefer, and you'll see that a lot of these are identical. So same with draw. Draw is down here. This is where you can start your CAD model, whether it's 3D, 2D, both. You get started with the draw tab. So modeler and model do the same thing, allow you to change your grid plane and how you interact with the grid, as well as what sort of geometry type you're selecting from your model, whether that's an edge, surface, or Boolean. HFSS does everything that the simulation tab can do and some more. We'll dive into that with further examples as well. You can even access your different toolkits here. Tools allows you to edit your libraries or any pre-existing libraries, as well as tools from your library's project tools, as well as any Ansys tools such as CMA that may be useful for you with your project. Window just helps you orient your screen however you may like it. You customize it to whatever you're comfortable with. Help, this is where any Ansys resources are put. If you're having trouble or just want to learn more, visit the Help tab. And that's going to be the same for the Learning and Support ribbon here. So we already went over desktop view. This is just going to be how your camera is angled. If you want to be able to zoom, you can click zoom or just use a scroll wheel. You just hold down, zoom in and out. If you want to zoom to an area, you just define a grid or a square rather, and boom, zoom in. If you need to pan the camera around. It's pretty self-explanatory. Rotate, rotate around your coordinate system. You can also push down on the scroll wheel to be able to rotate as well. Let's say first, let's just draw a random object here. I just selected a cube just to demonstrate. If, say, you're kind of at a awkward angle there, you can select Orient and select whichever view you want. Typically, I'll select isometric just because it is a nice view. And you can see a little off center here. And to fix that, you can just press Fit All. Now going back to Draw, here you can see that I drew the 3D box just randomly at the center of the origin. From here, you can also draw 2D shape if you'd like. You can start it from the top of the model that was just made if you desire, and you can see from the geometry window here, we have our drop down of our solids and our sheets. Since this was a 2D shape that I selected, it's going to be under sheets. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Like I said before, just go back to change the orientation. So you have a few different options for your 3D and your 2D shapes. We have a box, cylinder, we have a regular polyhedron, cone, sphere, torus, helix, as well as a spiral and bond wire. For your 2D sheets, you have rectangular, circle, polygon, ellipse, and a function-based surface if your surface that you're trying to draw is not of one of these presets. Same with your lines here, regular line, spline, your 3-point arc, center point arc, and another function-based curve. And then from here, with your different shapes, you can move them however you so desire, rotate, you can mirror it across an axis, whatever you need to do to manipulate. It is pretty self-explanatory when it comes down to these functions. It can get a bit more complex. The more complex your geometries are, we can get into these Booleans or these Boolean functions a little bit later with my other examples. For now, let's focus back on the other tabs we have here. You have your model tab where you can group together different objects, and you can also, this is where you also can create your 3D components or browse. For our simulation, this is where you're going to be interacting with your solver for the analysis, and also your mesh settings and HPC if you also have it, which we will also be diving into later. Results, once when your simulation is complete, you can start creating or modifying your results under this tab. Automation, this is where you access, you as well as from the tools menu, your different toolkits that you have here, as well as Pi AEDT if you would like to script. However, as of this recording, that's still in beta. And then learning and support, as I described before, if you're looking for more resources or help, you can contact one of us at AOPDS, or you can also just browse around in the Ansys provided resources. I would also recommend, once again, to look at the different examples Ansys provides for you, as those can be really helpful tools. So in the project manager window, you can see that you have a few different options when it comes to your HFSS design. However, for your project, it doesn't have to just be an HFSS design. You can also insert a circuit file, and it can be under the same project and integrated in there. That's what's great about the Ansys Electronics desktop, is that you can have integration across all the electronics applications and have it all under the same project for a full systematic design. So let's exit out of here and focus back on HFSS in particular. So here's where you'll be customizing and editing and creating any boundaries, excitations, the 3D components we mentioned earlier, the model, any circuit elements, your mesh, the analysis solver and sweep, any optometrics, which we will also be going over later, results, port field displays, field overlays, and any radiation. There's also definitions as well. So down to the properties window right below project manager, you have the properties for your different designs that you have here. So here is where you can create or not create. You can change, say, the material values. You can customize the color transparency of the model that you have. If you would like to change the actual dimensions, what you're going to do is that you're going to go over to the geometry window. You're going to click on the create box or create shape, whatever shape you had selected. You're going to click on this element right here. And as you can see, here's where you can change its position with respect to the coordinate plane, its length, its width, and also its height. And so from here, you also have your message manager. This in the progress menu here are going to be key windows while your simulation is running, where progress will tell you what step of the analysis the simulation is in, as well as providing a progress bar. The message manager will tell you any information that's going on with or any information regarding the model during the simulation. It's going to bring up any warnings, and it's also going to bring up your errors. So those two are definitely vital when it comes to actually running your simulation. That is a brief guide on what you can do with the Ansys Electronics desktop user interface. Please check out as well the other videos on our website that go more in depth using walkthrough examples and provide other resources on whatever solution you are trying to design. Thank you.